Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, which means it's another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guest?
Sure. We have the director of Bad Candy, among other things, Scott Hansen. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for
How you
having me.
doing? Yeah. Like Tony brought it up, and I was like, oh, I've been hearing about Bad Candy for a while because I remember reading something about Corey Taylor being in a movie, and it was like an anthology movie. I'm like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Like,
Yeah.
And I thought it was another movie, and I watched it. I'm like, Corey Taylor wasn't in this. So it was another anthology because there's a lot of anthologies that are out there, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, Bad Candy, which is streaming now on Prime if you have Prime. Is it streaming other places as well, or is it just Prime right now?
It's on Prime and iTunes. It's supposed to go to Shudder soon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and some other places, but yeah, it does like certain rounds of different streamers for a bit.
Yeah. And so looking at your demo reel and stuff like that. No, I guess the demo reel. You've done a lot of music related stuff as well. So I'm assuming that's how you got to connect with Corey.
Yeah. I just I come from the music video world, so I'm been directing music videos for like 12, 13 years now, and I just kind of came into Corey in contact, and they won't let me direct the Slipknot video just yet because the clown guy, he directs them all, but Corey's tried to get me a few times, but when Clown says no, I'll probably hop in, hopefully.
Nice. It's pretty awesome. And it looks like it ranges. Like there's like country music, metal music, stuff like that, like rap and stuff too, right?
Yeah, everybody from like Willie Nelson, As I Lay Dying, A Day to Remember, so many bands. Il Nino, Korn, Meshuggah, just finished Meshuggah, people like them. But yeah, I would say that's more my day job, and we average a movie every year and a half.
Nice.
So yeah, but trying to get more into movies, more full time, I guess.
Nice, but still, I mean, like music videos, they're my youth. So it's good that they're actually still being made.
I know, right?
On MTV, but still, they're there. Just real quick, Sergio wants to make sure he's saying hi, and then we have a PJ McCroon. What's up, y'all, from South Charleston, West Virginia? Now you're from Virginia Beach, right?
Yeah, Virginia Beach.
Nice. Yep. And are you still out there? Or are you doing the LA thing?
No, I did my time in LA, which I like to say it that way. I did my time. I didn't like it, but I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Georgia.
Oh, nice.
I kind of dig the South, and Atlanta is basically the new LA for all films, anyways.
Yeah.
I have a studio out here, Digital Thunderdome Studios, and we've made about 8 movies and probably 800 music videos in the past 12 years.
That's awesome.
And we just keep working our way up. We're trying to get to the bigger things, but it's just it's a ladder you have to climb.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think it's pretty neat, the music video thing. Like when I saw that, I was like, I need to check them out because there's especially now because there's so much like competition almost. Like I've seen like a lot of really cool, just good ideas in music videos. So and then watching Bad Candy, I'm like, oh, I want to see what he's doing. So do you actually come up with the ideas for the music?
Yeah. I mean, I draw. I actually come from a drawing background, so I usually sketch a lot of my art and stuff, and a lot of the drawings of Bad Candy I drew. And
oh, nice. I was gonna ask like the one at the end with the clown with the
storyboards. Nice. I come from a fine art background, and I'm just a huge fan of like being able to draw your own creatures and monsters and come up with your own stuff and hire the talented people to help you make it. And the music videos they're a lot of fun too, because it's different times now. I mean, I kind of grew up with the the MTV Carson Daly coming home off the bus stop, and now it's like Instagram and TikTok, and what can you watch in 10 seconds, and
right.
how do you get people not to scroll?
I might be a little older than you, but I remember running home, and I actually remember staying over a friend's house because they were premiering the Weird Al Yankovic Fat video.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God. We recorded it. We just watched it all night long over and over again.
Yeah. I miss Beavis and Butthead. I miss MTV2 Headbangers Ball.
Oh my God.
They took away some of the good stuff that was just for the underground metal people. And I wish they would bring that shit back. But now it's
yeah.
It's all hip hop now, and
right. Even like I'm all over the place. I like a little bit of everything.
Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, if it wasn't for Headbangers Ball and like even 120 Minutes, I wouldn't know most of the bands that I still love to this day.
Yeah, totally.
I was actually it was weird. I was at a show once, and I'm in Central Mass, and I was at a show at the Palladium, and like Matt Pinfield was there.
Oh yeah,
just in the crowd, and like I was more excited that he was there than the band I was going to see.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the band was, but I'm like, holy crap, Matt Pinfield is here.
I'm like, the host, right? He was the host,
the bald guy.
Like, bald guy.
Yeah, 120 minutes. But yeah, that was back in the day. I mean,
I guess Headbangers Ball. I remember there was a band called Straight Line Stitch.
Yeah,
that me and my buddy were sitting. We had nothing to do on a Friday. We're sitting there watching the new band that comes up, the music video, like literally right after the video plays, the singer, he used to be in a metal band.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I booked this thing. We live in Jersey. So he's we booked a thing in Trenton, which is like almost 2 hours away. He's like, we're going to be opening up for some bands. And he's like, oh, by the way, the headliner is Straight Line Stitch. So literally like 2 minutes before he watched the music video for him, and they ended up opening up. I'm like, that was pretty cool.
It's all about the music video. When I'm like, who is this band? I need to see their video and see who they are, and then there's some music.
Yeah, some of them like there's songs like bands like Mastodon. There's songs that I love, but then I see the music video, and the music video is even cooler, and I'm like, this is like now my favorite song by them. There's that song Curl of the Burl is like my favorite. That's my favorite video from them. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's awesome. I definitely have to go through and track down the ones that you've done, and I'll check them out for sure.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah,
I lose track even.
Yeah. So the newest one that is your main feature that's available is Bad Candy.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of stuff that's available on Prime as well. I guess Bully's up there.
Yeah. And you shot that in Jersey actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part?
In Jersey. Shit. Hold on. The big boardwalk. I should know.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. Yes. Yeah. We had Trejo. We flew him out, and it's Danny Trejo in that movie, but he's like teaching this kid how to box, be a boxer, and stand up for himself. But it's a fun family film, and that's on there too.
You can't go wrong with Danny.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Yeah. And you use him for his strengths. So he's a fun guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff. Definitely check out his, Scott's IMDb. There's a bunch of cool stuff up here. Like besides directing, I see that you were you camera and electrical on Texas Chainsaw. That's how
I met Bill Mosley. Bill Mosley from Devil's Rejects. I was one of the 3D camera ops in Louisiana. It was 120 degrees and giant mosquitoes and fucking swamp, but I got to meet. And that movie, that wasn't terrible. The Texas Chainsaws, they keep going. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I still watch them. I love them. Looking forward to the new one on Netflix, I guess. This had Bill Mosley, Alexandra Daddario. She's awesome. But I really just became buddies with Bill, and then I ended up putting him in the Possession Experiment.
Yeah.
A couple years later, he's just a really cool guy, and you never know who you're gonna meet. But right. I produce, I write, writing a few movies right now, and
nice.
Just keeping it going. It's just
nice.
Yeah.
So are you doing? I mean, I see like obviously Bully's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like you've touched on a lot of different genres of movie. Is there any that you haven't tackled that you'd like to? Get the
Yeah, I
opportunity to?
have like, man, and this is kind of why I do what I do. I would say I'm more of an independent studio. Obviously, my movies are much smaller, but I mean, it's only because when I did my time in LA, I had the big meetings with Bloomhouse. I've had the big meetings with Wonderland, Sound and Vision, and McG, and had scripts go into limbo, and they get bought, and then it's like they're sitting on a shelf, and it's just like, oh, I thought this was going to be my, $5-10 million movie. And now some studio execs like, no, it's going to be on a shelf. I met Jason Blum and I know all these people, but it's like, when I left LA, I was like, I just want to do this by myself. Make my own decisions, find my own distribution, my own funding, and put the movies out. And Bad Candy, I helped write it. Desiree, our co-director, who's actually my wife, she co-wrote it as well, and then we just made it.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun, and but it's very hard. It's not easy to make. When you watch a movie like that, people, they compare it to like Trick or Treat, where Trick or Treat's like a $17 million movie,
Right.
and where you see Bad Candy made on $92,000,
Oh wow.
which is like the food budget for Trick or Treat,
Yeah,
the catering budget.
One
But-
week.
Yeah, for 1 week or a couple of days. And, it's just like when you watch Bad Candy, you see a lot of like love. There's a lot of love in that movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of set design. I think I had like 10 different jobs on that movie. We were pulling every
Actually-
favor we could to make it happen. And
I was watching the credits and I kept seeing like your name over and over again. I saw another
Yeah,
person
I
like
did-
they were listed like 5 times. I'm like, wow. I'm like everyone's
Yeah,
like
we-
jumping in. Yeah.
we couldn't even afford to pay our DP, so I had to take it after he had to leave for a project. And I was set designing and just whatever it took to get it done. And that's part of the joy, but it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And I think I was literally doing music videos, waiting to get paid. And every time I get paid for a music video, I'd put it back into the movie and be like, all right, we're ready to shoot. Like, so it's just, but back to your question, sci-fi is my goal. Yeah. I have like 3 awesome sci-fi scripts, but they're all like 10 to 15 million a piece. And
Yeah. When you come to the sets and stuff like that with sci-fi,
you can't mess with sci-fi. That's something you can't do unless you're going to do something like Primer, which is like a great sci-fi movie, really low budget. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard to make something. I mean, look at Dune, something like that. There's so many good sci-fi movies, but you have to have some money to make them.
have you seen the new Dune?
Yeah, I did see Dune. Yeah, I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it at the house, and I enjoyed it. I mean,
Are you a fan of the original?
I am. I do like the original. Yeah, I was hoping we could have saw the damn worms and got to that part, but they kind of cut it so short. I was like, wait, they were just about. It's too long.
So not to bring everyone down, but the little girl that's in Dune with the bright blue eyes.
Oh yeah.
That's her name is Alicia Witt. She's an actress. She still acts. She was in 4 Rooms with Madonna and like stuff like that. She was on The Sopranos. She's been on a bunch of stuff. But this is how I'm bringing it down. Her father was my science teacher in middle school, and here's the unfortunate part. And again, sorry for bringing everyone down. They just found him and his wife in the house, no longer with us.
Shit.
Yeah. They think it was like a space heater incident or something like that. But it's
man.
very sad. It was just literally within the last week.
That's crazy.
But that's the thing is he like in middle school I was a lot of problem. Like believe me, he was the only teacher that kept my attention and stuff like that. He was great. Like to the point where I'm 46 years old and I'm bringing him up still.
Yeah. I had that one teacher, I had an art teacher, always on my case, and I was always so rebellious. But I still talk to her to this day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she's still checking in, and just sometimes but it was only that one teacher. Everybody else is like, dang, give a fuck. But it was like this chick is super cool and still keeps in contact.
Yeah, it's good. It's good when you have that connection from your youth. Unfortunately, I don't have too many of those, but whatever. I'm sure she's very proud of you for what you're doing.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's always a good thing. It's a good feeling. But
Totally.
so Bad Candy is an anthology film. And you were talking about how compared to like Trick or Treat and how it's very low budget. Like one thing that Tony and I mean, we talked to a lot of people that are low budget, like filmmakers and stuff like that. But we think that at least what I think, and I'm sure Tony's the same way, but most of the heart and originality that we're seeing is all the low budget independent stuff right now. They're the ones who are taking the risk. Everyone else is just remaking the same movie. So
exactly.
Because you brought it up, you said that you want to do it your way, and you know what people don't. I mean, before I did the podcast that we've been doing these past 5 years, I would look at movies 10 times different than I do now, because a lot of the times we'll bring on people here, and it's like I put it out, but the studio, they cut half my movie, and it's just like that's why you get these director's cut now that make the movie look 10 times different, because studios think they know what people want to see, and it's like, oh, this movie sucked. Well, that wasn't really my vision to begin with. Maybe if you saw what I actually wanted to put out. So doing it yourself, it's a lot harder, but I think that'll in a long run make everybody appreciate it that much more, because it's like, okay, this is my vision, this is what I wanted. It's not some studio putting their 2 cents in, and
they put their arm up your ass, basically. And I have a lot of big director friends, and you just see them get fucking just cut at the legs, and it's just like there's nothing you can do. And they spend years on, like a year and a half to 2 years is the average spend on a movie, time for a director. That's why when you watch like a TV show, like a Marvel show, there's always like one director per episode, because it's so much. It's so much to plan, to set up, and it's just so much time. But you get those producers come in there and they're just like, nope, studio. Oh, this is going to offend this certain demographic, and this is going to offend that. And I mean, in Bad Candy, we took all kinds of punches at all kinds of people.
You did. And I enjoyed that. Yeah.
And I have gotten some hate online for that.
Oh,
but I was like, hey, we were making
people stink. Yeah.
Dark comedy. Like, that's what we live for. Like,
we
never fuck with comedy. And we even had like a gay joke in there that got one of the distributors was like, no, you need to take this out. And I was like, no, that shit's funny. It's a veteran saying it. It's hilarious, and he says it, and he just says it like, oh, that's gay. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not changing that. This is, and then obviously we had like a Trump supporting, whatever. With
I was gonna ask if like, oh, did you make him the piece of shit?
Yeah, he's the rapist. But we actually had a lot of, and I don't try to play politics. But it was just, we've had a lot of people on the Trump support side who thought that shit was hilarious. Yeah. And then some who were like, fuck this, 1-star review. Only don't play with politics. But we were just having fun.
That's the thing is, you can't read the hat really.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what it looks like, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were talking about, like how like some like distribution and production companies and stuff really kind of step in. There's even some smaller, like lower budget companies that are doing that too. And like, for as much as I love Lloyd Kaufman, we've had Lloyd on the show a bunch of times, and I'm a Troma guy coming up. Like, I loved it. I got music in one movie that was released by Troma, and I thanked the director, and he's like, oh, I didn't put your music in the movie. Yeah. I'm like, oh. He's like, I sent everything that was sent to us, and then they edited the movie all together, and they chose your songs. I'm like, well, that's still cool though. They chose my song, so that's cool. Yeah. But at the same time too, I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, he's like, yeah, I don't even want to talk about that movie. I'm like, oh, that stinks. Because I'm proud of it. I went and bought a bunch of copies to give to my friends. Like, like, what else can I say? I had music in a Troma movie,
Yeah, I mean, even Desiree, like we come from the Sam Raimi, Mel Brooks, like comedy when it wasn't messed with. Like, you could say anything about anybody, and I think you saw some of that shit with like Dave Chappelle and some of the Netflix stuff now, and people are attacking it, and it's like comedy should be off limits. Like, and I think I enjoy dark comedy, like especially when it comes to horror, because sometimes, unless it's like The Exorcist, it's hard to take serious, and you got to if you can make fun of yourself and do a good job doing it, you can reach a lot more people, Yeah.
And I agree.
We're just weird, funny people and we're kind of obsessed with Halloween.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let's make a fucking Halloween movie because there aren't enough trick or treats. Let's face it. There is one trick or treat, and there's one Terrifier, and there's a second one, and there's like, what else is there? If you were talking about, well, I don't even know if Terrifier is Halloween, but you know what I'm saying, like,
right,
like
but
new,
clown
fresh,
thing. Yeah,
like stuff, and I was just, people were like, oh, it's kind of like trick or treat. I was like, we need there's like 20 Fast and Furious movies. How come I can't have 20 trick or treats and Halloween movies? There's a Hocus Pocus 2 coming out, which is great, you know. And
they filmed that around here actually.
Yeah, we need more. And I just wanted to contribute. And Bad Candy was just about a weird fucking clown in this town called New Salem, and you know, there's like people with powers. There's veterans who hunt down criminals, and they wake up with pumpkins on their heads, and you know, they're cleaners, and there's just all kinds of weird characters. But I would say, you know, Bad Candy is about a weird town. Yeah. So when
it all comes back, like everything's like,
it's all connected. Yeah. Exactly, it's not separate like VHS where it's all separate. And I love VHS 94. I know those guys. But it's all like, you know, I'm like, all right, awesome. But nothing, you know, you don't get like the general feeling from beginning to end. You know? Yeah. And I do love anthologies. We just were like, let's tie it all up. You know, we had Zach Galligan from Gremlins in there, and he was so cool to work with. And you know, it was last second before we cast him, we were like, "Hey, grow like a stash. You're gonna shave it, so you look like." So people don't, you know, it's like, "Oh, it's Billy." You know, we were like, "Let's give you a '70s porn stash, so people recognize you." And if not, you know, just because you're a good actor.
Yeah.
And then Corey Taylor, you know, bringing him in was totally left field because he only does like cameos.
Yeah.
You know, he's only cameoed on a few things, and
he had quite a bit of lines in this one. And I thought he did great.
I was like, you have the voice. I had to talk him into it, and he didn't know. You know, he was like. Then he read the script and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm into this. Let's do it." And I was like, "You just did this horror documentary on Shudder, in Search of Darkness."
In Search of Darkness.
And it was so good, and I was like, "Just listen to your voice, man. Like you got it. Like you're."
He was questioning his voice. Like it's.
Well, you know, you gotta talk people into. You have to give them confidence to be.
Oh yeah. But you'd think. I mean, that's funny to hear.
Yeah.
And that's
I actually have his version of it.
His version, yeah.
So that's the weird thing. Like someone like him, you would think like he wouldn't even have any issue with that because of like besides like obviously singing, like his banter between songs and stuff like that. I always thought he was really funny and just like good. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know, like it's just weird to me. Like it's good to know that people like that have as much self-doubt in themselves as I do.
He doesn't want to put out anything bad. So I mean, he was like, all right, let me read the script, you know, and we tried to work it around him. Actually, he was a replacement because our first actor passed away.
Oh, geez.
And he would have been amazing. And but you know, things work out for a reason. But it was Sid Haig.
Oh, geez.
Sid Haig signed on to the movie, and then he got sick, and he wasn't doing that well. And you know, Rob Zombie put him in 3 from Hell, and obviously they had to cut, you know, his scenes and put in Richard Brake. Just because he just was not doing well at all. But yeah, we had Sid Haig and Zach at first, and then I was like, we need a replacement. I love Sid, and I just always envisioned Sid from Devil's Rejects being our radio announcer, being fucking funny and just, you know, super F-bombs left and right and just being him. But you know, sadly he passed away. Rest in peace, Sid.
We actually had him on the show once, and
oh wow, yeah, I gotta watch that. I love him.
And I've met him at conventions a billion times, and like we've had booths, and like he's come and crashed like when we're doing like a live thing at a booth, and like after parties doing karaoke. That it was a very, very, even though it was very intimidating the first few times I met him, nothing but like approachable and just a nice dude.
Yeah,
so nice. And he was just very thankful, you know. Yeah. And I used to talk to him about movies other than the Rob Zombie stuff. I would talk to him about Spider Baby and stuff like that, just because, you know, he's got a long career, like way before that.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. He would have been sick in that part. I agree 100%. Corey Taylor was great. Yeah. Sid, I can imagine that, and it would be pretty sick.
He's in the concept art, too. He had all this amazing concept art. Really? He's in there, and we actually had Bruce Campbell too, but Bruce liked the script, but Bruce wanted all of our budget and like 50 grand more for 3 days. I was like, we're gonna come back to you, Bruce. I get it. I understand. You know, he was like, I dig it. I could do this. And I was like, yeah, we can't afford that. But well, we are writing a sequel right now.
I was about to say, we'll get you in the sequel.
Yeah, I'm coming for him. I'm gonna come for him now because I'm like, you know, the first movie did pretty well for the budget, and you know, it's selling really well. So I'm like, we're gonna come back and try to get him.
Yeah. Plus, it's already said he's no longer going to be Ash. Like he's doing the behind the scenes stuff now. Like he's going to be doing producing and stuff with the new Evil Dead. There's another Evil Dead movie that's coming out in 2022.
Yeah.
But just real quick because we've been talking about it. I want to play the trailer for Bad Candy, which is streaming now. If you have Prime, you can watch it there, included with your Prime membership. It's also on iTunes, and you said eventually it's going to be going to Shudder, which is awesome. I watch Shudder more than I watch Netflix, so that's
me too.
Yeah. So here is the trailer for Bad Candy, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, kids, to the Psychotronic FM Halloween show. This is Chili Billy. It's station 66.6. Ghouls, werewolves, vampires, ghosties with the mosties.
You guys ready for tonight?
It's Halloween, or as we like to call it, Hell Hallows Eve. We continue down this dark and dusty road on the night when the space between the living and the dead is at its thinnest.
You're, kind of old to be trick-or-treating.
I want you to call in with your scariest ideas, your deepest fears, your spookiest nightmares, so I can twist the knife into your stories. Can you dig it?
Oh, watch it.
Let me make it up to you. Got the really good candy.
Hey, Bill, we got a caller on the line that wants to know what your biggest fear is.
My biggest fear? The dark.
This is going to be awesome.
Happy Halloween! You gon' die, bitch. Bye!
That's good stuff. I wanted to. I mentioned before there was a little. When we were talking about Zach and Corey, there was there's a little kind of joke, Gremlins-y joke, which I was like, that's great. And then
he actually didn't want me to do with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like no Gremlins jokes in his contract.
Oh, wow.
But Zach is secretly a huge Slipknot fan, which I was like, really? Okay, awesome. And so I took Corey aside and was like, hey, man, if it's going to happen, it's going to come from you. He's not going to turn it down. And so I was like, we're going to film this take because I'd love to catch actors off guard. I'd love to put people in weird situations and just start rolling because sometimes you get the best stuff when people are reacting, you know, and they know they're in an acting situation, but you catch them off guard. But Corey dropped the line and you just saw his shitty grin. He was like, this motherfucker. And we got him and he gave a funny line back.
Yeah.
And because he was really against any Gremlins jokes.
Yeah. Well, I can get it. I mean, at the same time too, I'm
sure he hears it every day.
So, right. Exactly. But he goes to conventions. He does.
And that's what he's going on is Gremlins. So it's not like
that's what he's making money off 40 years later. So
yeah. there's a lot of people that are doing that. So good on him that he can, but I can understand. And then there was one dude, I forget, he was like the drug dealer kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'd seen him in a Manson movie.
Yeah, he was Manson. That's how I casted him.
He was so good. He was so good in that movie. And then
I'm good friends with that director too.
Oh, nice. He was in a movie called Truth or Dare that a friend of ours, Jessica Cameron, made. That
I know Jessica well, and
nice.
Devaney Pinn.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, that's
we're just many times
more than most guests we've had around.
Which one?
Jessica Cameron. Yep.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's a really nice. We haven't had her on in a very long time. I don't know.
The one time she was actually in
the UK.
What do you call it? The UK.
Yeah.
She came on at like 3:00 in the morning, and she was walking around on the streets with the camera. It was kind of funny and interesting.
But yeah, that
Ryan's
dude,
great. He just has that look, you know.
Oh my god, he's so good. Like
he just has that look, and you just sometimes you see those actors who don't even have to say much.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that weathered look, and it just like speaks 1,000 words.
Yeah, he's a dude that I can imagine seeing in some much bigger stuff.
Oh yeah,
down the road, like him and there's another actor that I absolutely love named Bill Oberst Jr. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Dude, he was in my. I'd had another movie, 2013 called Monumental. I casted him in that. He's some Vietnam War vet who gives a funny speech at a bar, and that's
really?
That's a family film, but. It's like two guys go on a road trip to spread their mom's ashes in her honor because she never got to travel. And it's just, Bill's great. Bill's funny.
Oh my god, he like every movie I've seen him in. I mean, there's a few movies that like are just good movies, but he's in a lot of movies that are just not great movies. But he's phenomenal in them.
Yeah, he's always good.
Oh, he was actually the video I mentioned, the Curl of the Burl, the Mastodon video. He's in that video.
Oh hell yeah.
When we had him on, I was like, "You were in the Curl and Burl video." I just want to shake your hand. But I don't know. That's awesome. Like this, it's weird how like everything mixes. Like I know like Felissa Rose, she directs a lot of music videos, and not a lot, but she did like a Slayer video and stuff like that.
Oh,
so it's kind of cool to see that like everyone's kind of like crossing paths, kind of deal, you know?
Yeah,
good times. So what do you have in the works? Is there anything that you can talk about? That you have in the works?
I got we got a movie called The Quiet Zone, which is a werewolf movie. And it's like
pictures on Instagram that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's this guy goes hiking. He's a Desert Storm vet and 2 kids, and his wife passes away due to cancer, and they're like hiking the Appalachian Trail in her honor or whatever, and they come across these people that live in the woods, and they are a Wendigo cult. So worship the Wendigo, and it's like, it's really fucked up. It's like Raw, the movie Raw meets like Dog Soldiers or something.
Oh, nice.
So it's a nice little cross. But we have another movie called The Virginia Bitches, which is a weird title. But that is 4 chicks in a metal band who are vampires, and they break down in a small town led by a warlock. So it's like my pitch is like, hey, it's like Harry Potter on cocaine with metal people. And, I actually that one is going to be first. So we're supposed to shoot that in March, and we have like we're actually dropping like an Indiegogo next week to help raise some more funds. But we've got Randy from Lamb of God.
Oh, nice.
To be in a role. And I kind of took what we did with Corey and just did it times 6, and I got Alyssa from Arch Enemy.
Oh, nice.
Who's a huge band in the UK. And she's going to be one of the leads. And Heidi from the Butcher Babies.
Okay.
A lot of big acting stuff and horror stuff. And then got Doyle from the Misfits. He has a little cameo role. LeJean from Seven Dust.
That's
Christian
awesome.
from El Nino.
El Nino's a Jersey band.
Yeah. And there's like 3 or 4 more, but it's Scott from Carnifex is gonna hop on. But yeah, it's a fun little vampire movie. It's
nice.
And I come from the music world, and I used to be in a band back in college, hardcore band way back when. So
how far back are we talking? I'm just curious.
2004 through 7. Yeah,
I was in the late 90s. I was in a it wasn't a hardcore band, but we used to play with hardcore bands all the time.
Yep.
And we got basically booed off the stage. we were opening for Earth Crisis and Blood for Blood.
Oh, I love Earth Crisis.
And we had a horn section. And as soon as we got on stage, people were like, get the hell off it.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know who booked that show, but whatever. At least I can say I was uncomfortably played before Earth Crisis and Blood for Blood.
Man, I went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. And we opened up for like Classic Case, Circle Take Square, Under Oath one time. They were coming up. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of went through all that. And that's actually what got me into music videos was like, I can't make any money being in the band.
Yeah.
back
Did you
then.
play an instrument or did you sing?
Yeah, I played rhythm. Yeah, just played
nice.
guitar. And I had a lot of fun, but I'll never forget, trying to shower at rest stops and whore baths and sleeping, in the fucking van with like 5 other sweaty dudes trying to find hotels. And,
Yep.
Some girl off of MySpace we met and we slept at her place. It ended up being her parents' house in the garage, the weirdest situations. And we were like, dude, let's write a movie about that. And just, change it up a little bit. But you don't see enough movies about going on the road, touring. And it was just like, oh, let's mix some of that. But what if they were like vampires and, magical creatures and like all these weird beings and, just a weird town. Actually, Virginia Bitches is the town next over from New Salem.
Oh, okay.
So you're actually going to see, I wouldn't even call it a sequel. It's just like over there. You know? So you might see some characters in Bad Candy who cross paths.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be
just
cool.
Kind of like a little horror universe.
Yeah, totally.
But
that's the thing I always said. It's like if you had to take like a genre of music and mesh it with a genre of movie, I think metal and horror are like that perfect combination where it's just like
you can do a bunch of different genres of music, I think, but metal definitely obviously fits. I mean, it has since way back in my youth. I mean, I remember, was it Dorkening did a music video for Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors.
I mean, they were more glam, but whatever. But still, back then, it was it's always been that. But I can see some like creepy, even jazz and stuff like being appropriate in some movies.
Oh yeah.
There's some like Mr. Bungle and like Phantom stuff.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like creepy.
Movie.
But I remember just watching like, especially like Ghost Ship had like Mudvayne and stuff like that in the end credits, and it's just ever since when I was younger, it was just always okay. The end credits roll after a horror movie. You definitely know you're gonna hear some kind of metal right after.
Grab your head and start swaying all over the movie theater.
Yeah. And we got Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley's in this one too, so we're excited for that.
And he does music as well.
He does, yes.
The corn buds or corn bugs.
Yeah, I have that album. I have one of his albums here.
It's weird. It's definitely weird.
He does cool weird shit.
Yeah, and he has he did one with Phil Anselmo too.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
He was sold out. I was gonna buy it from him at the last time I saw him at a con, and he was sold out. I was like, crap, next time.
He's cool.
Then Corona happened, but so yeah, that sounds awesome. Like it's very cool, and I like the fact that you're gonna try to interweave it with Bad Candy.
Yeah, and then Bad Candy 2 we hope to do later in the year, maybe 2023. I don't know. It just depends on how things go, but yeah, we're writing that script right now. But yeah, we got a couple other movies, and we're just like, I'm a huge Marvel fan, there's not enough horror universes,
Right.
I feel like, people are like, oh, Trick or Treat. I'm like, yeah, we need Trick or Treat. Krampus is amazing.
Right.
Like, there should be more of those,
That's the thing is like a lot of people bring up Trick or Treat. That's probably the one I watched the least, to be honest with you, as far as anthologies go.
Yeah.
Like I watched Tales of Halloween more than I watched Trick or Treat.
Yeah, Tales of Halloween. Yeah.
Which is actually, I actually have Bad Candy in my Dread Central Presents, which is put out by Epic Pictures.
Oh, you got one. You got the box, the candy box.
Yeah. So at that point in time, it's just like it's somewhere. I should have had it beforehone, but
you dropped the ball, Tony.
I did. I apologize. But Tales of Halloween is definitely one too. Like, because I always say there's two different types of anthology films. Yeah. You have your VHS where it's like, we had someone from December last week, and that's one where every short is something different. But then you get ones like
someone said there's way too many. Like that's the thing is I like anthologies, but like ABC's of Death, it's just like okay, I get it. It's another letter, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I guess it all depends on the shorts, because sometimes in that 5-minute short you can get enough, but then sometimes the short is a little bit too long and it gets drawn out. Like it's crazy how you could say like a short is too long, but sometimes it's just like you know, I got enough in the first 5 minutes. You don't have to continue.
Right.
So sometimes that 5 minutes is what you need, but then you got to fill out a 2-hour movie, so you kind of need that. But
no, the thing with yours though, I mean, it's, you know, I do like sometimes when there's different directors for each individual story, but sometimes the style is just way too different where it kind of throws you off. This one, even though it's like all like almost separate genres of horror, like it all fits well together. And I mean, me personally, I know it's your baby, but my favorite story besides the wraparound, wraparound with the ghost hunting story. It's probably my favorite, just because it's a special spot in my heart.
And I love that house is crazy because I was just driving. And I drove past that mansion, and actually the shots of the house when it's old was that's how it looked originally. And then, you know, we were like, oh, let's find out who owns this house. And somebody in another country owned it, and then they sold it. And luckily I had grabbed, you know, shots of it all old and decrepit because they painted it yellow, fixed it up. And I was like, all right, we're just going to use this in a time jump. And somebody's going to make it look like, oh, look at all these visual effects. But that was all real. All those are real shots. So
you lucked out there. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I got lucky with like taking some footage. You know, you never know.
Yeah. So Sergio's asking if the movie's on YouTube or if it's on Netflix. No, it's right now it's on Prime. If you have Prime, it's streaming for free. You can also iTunes and other VOD places, and it's available. Is it readily available on Blu-ray, or is it something?
It's just on Amazon. You can get it. That's the fastest way.
Or just Dread Central.
Well, Dread Central, yeah. You can buy it on there. Dread Pictures as well.
And then eventually on Shudder, which I think will, I think that'll put even more buzz into it, you know? So,
I love Shudder. What they're doing at Shudder is just amazing, you know?
Yeah. So much stuff I've never heard of that I'm just like, all right, I'm going to check this out. And it's sick. You know, it's awesome.
even before getting on Shudder, Bad Candy was one that there's always, you know, certain movies in, you know, the rumblings of all, you know, because there is so much horror, whether it's Facebook group pages or, you know, Instagram pages. I remember hearing Bad Candy. And not only that, I think the ththing that helped you is having like Corey Taylor, because then you mesh the music version, the side to, you know, the horror movie fans. So I remember watching Corey Taylor was on a, what is it, Renee Paquette or whatever. She used to be wrestling, and he mentioned Bad Candy on that interview. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's
awesome.
Yeah, I was watching. He's like, yeah, I'm in a horror movie called Bad Candy, and a different experience and all that stuff. So I'm like, now you get, you know, maybe it's the thing is that no matter what, even if you get 10 eyes or ears or whatever from that, it's more people than you would have reached before. So, you know.
You were pointing out that there's a big connection with the metal music and with horror, and so you look at the Virginia Bitches, and there's a lot of names. I'm sure that one's going to take off just from music fans alone. It doesn't even have to necessarily. Yeah, they're going to just do it just to do it. But yeah, then you know you have the horror fans, anyways, that just get obsessed. People like me and Tony, where we find a director that we like, and then we're just like, okay, now we need to see everything they've ever done. And we need to buy everything they've ever made just to support them, even though you probably get like a penny. But it's still
0.03,
right?
Whatever it is on Amazon.
Yeah, and so I also have the trailer for the Possession Experiment, which has Bill Moseley in it as well. And you want to just give a little synopsis of that before we play the?
That was the first movie, and that was done for even cheaper. So, but yeah, this is about a kid named Brandon who, in the name of science, self-possesses himself and documents the experience. So
nice. Yeah. So here's a trailer for the Possession Experiment, which is also streaming now on Prime and other places. Here we go.
We're in the basement of the former residence of Tracy and Richard Crow. 20 years ago, Tracy was believed to have been possessed by some sort of demon.
This kind of stuff is very real, and it is very dangerous. Things you don't understand are gonna happen.
Have you even thought any of this through? exorcism. It's kind of creepy, isn't it?
What is your name?
Really is amazing.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. I found it. It's number 37 out of the Dread Presents
Yes.
line. So
I was gonna say it's really amazing how creepy just someone on their like sitting the wrong way, and then I don't know, like it's a good possession movie is I don't know, it's there's not a ton of them, but
there's not.
But the ones that are good and effective, like I don't know, sometimes they try to overdo it with like CG and stuff like that.
Yeah,
practical's the way to go in a lot of this stuff. And I mean, this
look at I mean, that one scene in The Exorcist is still one of the the more scary scenes I've ever seen.
Oh God,
just backwards down the stairs. I'm like, that's still one of the like scariest movies to me.
Scary enough they made like an action figure of it, so you can get a McFarlane Toys like diorama of it or whatever.
I love when you watch that movie and all the doctors are just smoking and all this.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's such a, that's why I love movies. It's like a encapsulating that time.
Yeah. I do another podcast we only like focus on black and white horror.
Yeah.
And like, so it's stuff from the 30s and 40s and stuff like that. And like everyone is smoking nonstop.
Crazy.
It's we watched one for yesterday called The Beast with Five Fingers.
Oh, cool.
And it's a whatchamacallit, Alan Alda's father is in it.
Oh wow!
I didn't even know he was an actor. I'm just like, hey, that's Alan Alda's father. I just looked it up. It's weird, but it's I don't know. The movie's horrible except for the last third of the movie is fantastic.
Wow!
But yeah, it's like a drama until all shit hits the fan. But anyways, yeah, old horror is great. Let me see, what is it? I think I saw that so many times. The same one you just showed me. All right, so I think so Sergio. So we were supposed to have Scott on a couple weeks back, and then he was filming, so he couldn't come on. So I played the trailers on that show as well, because even though you weren't here, I was just like, oh well, still we want to talk about the movie because we like the movie. So I still played the trailers, so that's why Sergio's probably seen it before. But yeah, so I'm really digging what I'm seeing, and so out of your music videos, which ones should I avoid and which ones should I just look at them all?
I mean, sometimes it's a job. You get songs you're not a fan of, and it's a paycheck. But I mean, I did do a fun one for Willie Nelson, which was pretty cool, and he made us all smoke up before the shoot.
Nice.
And I got that on camera, and I was like, yo, this is like smoking weed with Elvis. Like, this is like one of the highlights of my life.
Yeah,
Willie Nelson. So it was like. But I mean, he was cool to work with. Man, there's so many videos. I just did one for a band called Tetrarch. Tetrach. They're like a Korn vibe. That was pretty good. I don't know. I've done so many. I lose track. But Meshuggah, when we were doing, I had to do that Meshuggah shoot, and that was crazy. But that comes out January 20th, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a few. I mean, there's some As I Lay Dying stuff. There's some A Day to Remember stuff I did. I don't know. Yeah, but if you go to my site, it's scotthansonfilm.com. There's like my top 75 videos, I guess you could say.
75?
My top 75 out of like 800 or something.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool, man. I don't know. It's just it's neat. I don't know, because you always wonder, like, because I don't know, like you have the big ones, like even like looking back at like Michael Jackson Thriller, where it's obviously that was like, it was a John Landis, that one, but it's like, but still, there's all these other ones that are very memorable. And it's like, whatever, who made that? Like, I have no idea,
So if you're a fan of that, all right. So the guy, I had in the intro of Bad Candy, there's a Vincent Price monologue, right? It's not Vincent Price because I got flagged for that. They went on to charge me like 20 grand or something.
Oof.
And I was like, fuck that. So I went to Fiverr and I found the guy who did the voice monologue for Thriller, the 1980 whatever with Michael Jackson. So the guy speaking when Michael Jackson's like, ooh, you know, he's like doing whatever it is. That's the voice who did our Vincent Price imitation in Bad Candy.
Oh, wow.
So same guy from Thriller. Yeah, I just was like, hey, what's up? Here's 150
$10. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was like $100. I don't know what it was, but he was on Fiverr and it was amazing. I was like, hey, we need it to sound like Vincent Price, you know, because you can do a copy, you just can't use the
actual recording. Yeah,
but yeah, it's that guy. He's great.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
tried the Tales from the Crypt guy, and I love him, but he wanted like $10,000.
Yeah, he does. He's at the cons a lot too.
And I was like, damn, 10 grand for a paragraph? Like, we're not Blumhouse, bro. Like, so I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it would have been cool, but at the same time, too, it's like I don't know. I'm all about voice actors as well. I'm obsessed with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for my pocket, but
dude,
Sergio's
I live right next to Cartoon Network. Like they're all here. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Cartoon Network, Rick and Morty, all that shit.
Yeah.
Like a couple miles away, man.
I got a 3D printer for my birthday because I'm a dork, and
that's cool.
I printed a plumbus. I don't know if you know what a plumbus is.
I don't, honestly.
Oh, it's from Rick and Morty. It's just
okay.
Weird, like, thing. It's very phallic.
And yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
I 3D printed one of those just because I needed to. Sergio's asking real quick if you believe in real ghosts. So, like, you have that ghost hunting thing at the end of, towards the end of Bad Candy.
I definitely have seen some weird shit that I can't explain. I've done some ghost shows that were totally fake. Where I was a camera guy, and then I've done some where I was like, I don't know.
I know you can't name names. Shadow stuff. I know you can't name names of shows. But there's a lot of shows that I'm just like, this is bullshit. Like, I was all about ghost hunters for a long time. We've actually had, like, Jay's been on the show.
Yeah.
And you know,
those guys are legit. The new stuff.
Yeah.
The new shows, I don't even know the names anymore, but it is just like sound effects and fake shit.
Yep. It's all right. Every episode someone gets possessed. I don't think so.
No.
That's not how it works.
No.
The thing I liked about ghost hunters is that most of the time they found nothing.
Yeah.
So
I have seen some shadows before,
mm-hmm.
and I've done some heat vision stuff where you see, like, you know, it wasn't like a person, but it was like it looked like a figure.
Yeah.
You know, and that was in a mental hospital it was a abandoned mental hospital in Georgia. Shit, it's in Milledgeville somewhere. And I just I have a heat vision camera, and we were scouting, and it was just like I saw something there. Like it was there. And I had footage of it, and it was like, wow. But there's nobody there. It's just like a cold ass room in the middle of winter and all this heat that looks like a person's. It looked like a kid though.
Yeah, which is sad. That's sad if it's a
kid.
And I mean, I'm all about it too. I used to be part of a paranormal team back in the day. But, so I'm all about it as well. So I was happy that you threw that in there. Like, I was just like, yeah, that's right.
I've definitely seen some shit, so I believe in it. But I have been a part of the fake stuff too.
Yeah,
it was a paid camera gig or whatever.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing with Ghost Hunters really taking off is that it just made a bunch of copycats that were just like, hey, here's a paycheck, make it scary, whatever. So it's just about that time to wrap up. So where can people go to find out more information? You know, I know you mentioned your website. What social media if people want to follow?
I'm on Instagram at Scott Hansen Film. Digital Thunderdome Studios is Instagram. That's my studio. And then we're on Facebook, digitalthunderdome.com. We do a lot of indie projects. And we're based in Atlanta. So we do all kinds of fun stuff here.
Nice.
So come check us out. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So, and Tony, where can people follow you?
You can find me at Tony Has 9 Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. You'll find on my YouTube. Tony Has 9 Fingers on Twitter, which I hardly ever use. Tony Has 9 Fingers on TikTok, which I do not twerk, even though Kevin tries to.
I have the videos to prove it. Now go ahead.
Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And check out the Wicked Horror Show Instagram, which, we'll throw up who the next guest is and stuff. Check us out there. And of course, here on Tuesday nights on the Wicked Horror Show. Kevin?
Just A Knuckle on Instagram. Besides doing the show here, I also do reviews with the 13th Wolfman on the audio side. And I'm part of Black and White Fright and Secret Underground Hideout, all of which are on the Dorkening Podcast Network. Go to thedorkening.com for more information on all those shows. And also, too, if you're listening to the show, step over on Tuesday nights. We have an open chat room. You can talk to the guests, stuff like that. You're just hearing.
You can see the trailers.
Hearing the trailers. Come watch the trailers.
Oh,
How about that? But yeah, thanks for listening / watching, and have a good night. Goodbye.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.